Hi everyone, my name is Laura King, and I chose to do my district profile on West Covina Unified School District because that is where I'm currently doing my student teaching right now. So some characteristics I've gotten off of the niche website is that West Covina Unified School District is ranked number 121 of 487 in best school districts in California. It is number 129 out of 742 in the most diverse school districts in California, and number 279 of 738 in districts with the best teachers in California. And again, these are all from the niche website. So as far as the student demographics goes, I provided this little graph that you can get on EdJoin. And a huge population, or the majority, is Hispanic Latino, as you can see, 65.5%, and then second comes in at 11.5% with your white students, and then you have your Asian Americans at 9.7%, and then you can just go ahead and see the graph there for the rest. About 65.9% of students are eligible for free and reduced price lunch. This was as of 2018. 17.5% are homeless as of 2016, and 8.3% are English language learners. So their LCAP goals, if you look on West Covina Unified School District's website, you have the three main highlighted goals, and that is 1, the conditions for learning, and I highlighted the main point of this. You can go ahead and read it whenever you want for extra information, but the biggest focus for them right now is to increase their achievement in mathematics. And another outcome is to prepare students to achieve success in college, careers, and life in a globally competitive economy, because as we know, in this new generation, there's a lot of different issues and things that students need to learn, so that's what they want to do to create relevant curriculum. And a special focus would be to increase student achievement for all student groups, so they want to try and close that gap, especially for their disabled students. And number 3, engagement, foster a positive climate that engages parents and students. So there's a lot of strengths that I've noticed with West Covina Unified School District. One thing is that they really provide progressive and relevant educational opportunities for the 21st century. Again, as we talked about earlier, they want to provide they want to prepare their students for this new global economy. So naturally, they have many different programs right now. They have their IB and AP classes for like the upper grades. They have a dual high school and college enrollment, which is pretty neat, so that, you know, whatever like the students do in high school, it can go on as credit to the college. They have gifted and talented programs, EL support, and they also have dual language immersion programs. They also have transitional and full-day kindergarten, and they're really good about providing, accepting, like, they have different ways to accept students and families even if they're not living within the school district area. If they need it, they will support you. Technology integration. So I think I saw in an article that they recently they finished up building like a huge STEM, like sort of like program building, and many sports and clubs, which is great for the students. So again, some strengths that I gathered from their website, from their LCAP goal, is the graduation rate is 95.1%, which is really high. But the most important thing that I want you all to take from this, like the ones that I've underlined, is that you have to look at the group. So a lot of the groups, we're basing these numbers based on a lot of the at-risk type of groups. So you have a graduation rate of 95.1% of students that are homeless, Hispanic, Filipino, and white, which are the high-risk groups. So that's 4 of the 8 numerically significant student groups. And then you have the California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress, and we're looking at the achievement of English language arts. And again, we're getting numbers this success is based on 8 of 12 student groups that are at risk. So they can either be or susceptible to, they're like significant. So they're like either the English learners, the foster youth, or those that come from like socioeconomic disadvantaged backgrounds and whatnot. And then you have your suspension rates declined district-wide to a mere 2.2%, which is awesome. And again, they're from these are numbers that are significant because they come from students that are like high risk, so foster youth or students with disabilities, your African American, American Indian students. And yes. So then, let's see here. So now that we have all these strengths, let's look at some of the ways we can maintain the strengths. So if you look on their website, they already give you a great list of ways that they are currently maintaining these strengths and currently maintaining their goals. I pulled a few significant ones. So continue expanding and maintaining educational programs and opportunities is what I felt personally is what they should continue to do. Again, like when we look at some of their strengths, we saw their progressive educational opportunities. So naturally, I say one of the best things they could do is continue expanding that and maintaining them. Second thing is a family resource center, because we look at how they have all these great numbers of like high-risk students. And so they created this family resource center with extensive foster youth support and maybe those who have like come from like a disadvantaged background in some sort of way. So they offer that support, and I threw that in there because I thought, hey, that's great. That's how they maintain one of their strengths. And providing English learners with a rigorous standards-based curriculum aligned to California's state literacy, mathematics, and next generation science standards. Again, their strengths earlier that I mentioned was how, as English learners, one of the significant types of groups are doing really well in West Covina Unified for the most part, and I felt that a way for them to maintain that strength was for them to continue and put this sort of rigorous and hold them up to very high academic expectations. So some challenges that West Covina Unified School District poses is, so there's a few things that I've noticed that was like a common theme, and it was one of their LCAP goals, and that was that the student achievement in the area of mathematics is an area of focus. So they're not doing so well on mathematics. So that would be raising the academic performance indicator in math for all student groups. And another thing was that they wanted to close the gap between like the performance of disabled students, so raising the achievement levels and graduation rates of students with disabilities. And also, as mentioned in their LCAP goals earlier, creating a positive school climate that engages parents and students. So my recommendations for these challenges is, one, for the first one, let's go back real quick. So for this, or I'm sorry, the third one, creating a positive school climate that engages parents and students. I got this idea and recommendation from the school that I'm doing my student teaching at right now. It's at the San Jose Charter Academy. It's a charter school in West Covina. And they have something, my master teacher is actually the head of it. She foresees the whole thing. She does something called Parent University. And this Parent University thing is so cool because it basically makes sure that teachers, the students, or the children, and the parents are all, or guardians are all on the same page. And they have this common language, and it's all based on growth mindset, which even aligns with the principles of UDL. It's really cool. It's something to, like, it's really, like, a nice experience, and you learn a lot too when you go through and you sit in these parent universities. Basically, teachers try to teach parents that, you know, don't get mad at your students or your children when they come home with like an F or like a low grade on their test, because that is just an indicator of where your mind needs to grow at. It's not some sort of gauge of like if I'm capable or incapable of success. It just means you need to focus on this. And that's perfect because as teachers, they need to know where their students lack and where their strengths are to focus on. And these teachers are at the Parent University are trying to teach parents this sort of idea. So teaching them growth mindset. And another recommendation I have is for the math situation, and I saw this firsthand. There is something at our school, at San Jose Charter again. There's a summer intervention program. So they take the students that are basically on their reports kind of at risk in certain areas, and they sit them down towards the end of the school year and create a very extensive goal. But it's very short and sweet because they pick their battles. They want to just focus on some of their basic fundamental things so that they need to go in and intervene right away so that they don't keep falling behind more and more as they get older. So for example, one of my students in my student teaching classroom, she was struggling with basic math facts. And if she doesn't know if she can't recall simple, like addition and subtraction, she's going to drown as she progresses in age, right? Like starting in 3rd, 4th grade, if she doesn't know those basic math facts down, she's going to have such a hard time. So her teacher, my master teacher, and her parents and the counselor, they sat down in this group, and I sat in and I watched as they decided what their goals would be, how to meet them, and to just give the students that individual attention, talking to the parents in this sort of parent-teacher-student conference to make sure that everyone's all on the same page. And at the end of the summer, when she comes back showing the progress or work she has done, they give her like a little token, so to create that sort of incentive, because it's summer and the fact that these students are still doing extra work, they should be rewarded. And yeah, so those summer intervention programs are a great way, especially for the math situation or the math challenges that West Covina Unified has. So if all schools do this, just like our San Jose Charter Academy does, I'm sure it can make a big difference. So also with the Closing the Gap, trying to help the students with disabilities increase in their academic performance, I think having those specialists like special ed assistants come in seamlessly and be integrated and assist the students one-on-one would be a great way for them to get that, additional support. And also, I feel personally, and again, this is from the school that I'm doing my student teaching, they have a certain amount of allotted time that they provide to provide for all teachers and all grade levels. So let's say all second graders, all second grade teachers, all third grade teachers within their level meet for an hour a day to plan curriculum, to plan what they need to work on in their lesson plans based on, what their students are doing, how they're doing. And I think having this support and having all teachers work together in this sort of collective action to strategize, especially on the math scores, because again, West Covina Unified School District has challenges with mathematics scores. It would be a great way, because at the end, I feel like teachers, they know a lot, and they can probably, if you give them the chance, really the time to all collaborate together like this, really smart cabinet of teachers, I'm sure that they can do wonders and create a better math, or a stronger, more effective math lesson plan to help raise the scores eventually and throughout the district. And yeah, so those are some of my recommendations for the challenges. Now, these are the resources. I have all these. You guys can feel free to click or copy and paste the links below. And just thank you for listening in on this presentation. Goodbye.